Mother's Day. I'm off to a great start. Okay, it's late in the day. I recorded nothing earlier. Church was nice. I participated in the little, creativity craft thing that was going on. That was neat. I didn't stress myself, but I was awake really early this morning, like just before 7 a.m. And then I could not get back to sleep. So I'm sitting there reading my emails, and I know it's dumb, but I get a horoscope in my emails like, you may be awake really early today. And I was like, well, that was spot on. Okay. Oh, it's definitely springtime because my whole face itches. I think I may have skipped my Zyrtec last night. I was really tired. I went and restocked my ethical chocolate supply after church, and then went to Walmart, picked up some art supplies, and sent a little pot of red begonias for my mom. They're cute. And I tried to limit my contact with them as much as possible because plants around me just croak. John had just set this on my bed and texted me, when are you getting home? At like 1:30. Right as I was pulling into the driveway. He spent another 3 hours trying to make donuts. He used some cake flour, and also the all-purpose flour, and that doesn't seem to help any. He proofed the yeast, and for some reason they were flatter than before. It seems to be going in the wrong direction. So we talked about how, baking stuff and measurements, and don't pack the flour unless it calls for it, that kind of thing. Maybe you need to sift it. Maybe the oil was too hot and cooked it before it could rise properly. There's a lot of things that go into it. And we're trying. He seems pretty intent on learning to make donuts properly. And then I watched some Bo Burnham songs on YouTube for a bit. Well, playing my video games on my phone when I could have been editing. And then I cleaned the bathroom. But it's dinner time. I'm having a couple of hot dogs. My dad was grilling hot dogs and burgers. Some onions got grilled as well in a weird grilling bag thing that it looks like a mesh for a screen door that's too large to keep bugs out. That's the best way I can describe it. I've got some fresh vegetables as well, a little bit of ranch dressing, and I am working on a bottle refilled off the RO filter on the kitchen sink. And I am going to get into Stargate, probably Atlantis. Still working on season 8 of SG-1 and season 1 of Atlantis. And then, I don't know, maybe when I'm done eating, I'll get some stuff off my phone calls. Holy crud, I'm out of time. Okay, I watched a whole bunch of Stargate. I convinced John to put his dishes in the dishwasher from earlier when he made donuts. I got my blanket run through the dryer another time, but I guess I need to get that folded out. Yeah, I'll get it folded. And I got a little tiny bit of editing done. I got like 1/3 of a video handled. But yes, lots of Stargate. John and I have been discussing what would be required for him to have purple hair. Not anytime soon, probably. I don't know. But I'm beat and I gotta get my kids to school in the morning. And then I've got some other things I have to do tomorrow. I'm having a blast today. I've got my kids home. I made them pizzas. I made fresh pesto. And I headed to the airport. go pick up my FBI agent, my CIA agents, and get them home safely. And it's raining, and I was kind of at a loss at what to do for some pranks. I pulled it off. I've really got to replace the phone holder dock in here. I made a really big watercolor today. There's a meme on the other side of it. An inappropriate meme. Yeah. I don't know how long it's going to take for that to get noticed. Because I took some poster putty and put it up on someone's wall. I'm a terrible person. Stop for dinner. We're going to try out the Kenny Fort Pub in Round Rock. Supposedly British food. Sadly, my audio was corrupted for this bit. These pretzel bread sticks with the cheesy dip were really great. And I gotta say that the decor is awesome. Okay, so dinner has arrived. I got small fish and chips. Are the chips big enough? Those are large chips. And also there's some onion rings. I'm home. That was the small fish and chips. They have a larger amount. We did figure out what all those little cups were. There was ketchup. There was a curry sauce. Chip shop curry even. Tartar sauce. And the mushy peas. I don't know how the mushy peas are supposed to be eaten. If it's supposed to be like a condiment. If it's supposed to be like a side. Like coleslaw. Like if you go Raising Cane's, they have a little cup. Little condiment cup of coleslaw. But I don't put that on, you know, the chicken strips at Cane's. I just eat it. So I don't really care. I like that you get the peas flavor without it falling off the fork. The batter, yeah, was excellent. The onion rings were excellent. The folks who were with me got some stuff that they found to be quite excellent. Good time. Yeah. And just walking into that restaurant, the employees was holding the door open and said, "Welcome home." That was a blast. There's supposed to be a second British food / pub opening up later in the summer somewhere else. So I guess I'll have to go check that out as well. Right. It was a good time. It was a really good time. And I like that they recognize the history of Kenny Fort, which is long gone. It's hard to even find the place where it was, but it has a lot to do with Texas history and the reason why Austin is the capital of the state. It was kind of a big deal back in the day. Pretty cool. Yeah, we all had a really good time. And just so we're really, really clear, the Kenny Fort Pub people don't even know that I, was recording anything or checking them out or reviewing them or anything. So, yeah, totally honest opinion. And hopefully they're chill with my recording and don't ask me to take the video down. Alright, it is late. It's after midnight. I gotta get some sleep and get my kids to school in the morning. But everybody's home safe from the airport. That was my big goal today. And I succeeded. I've been editing today. I have a lot of catching up to do. Got some groceries, cooked some chicken, kind of a meal component prep kind of thing. And there's been this ladybug just hanging out on the mint that grows out from between my front porch steps. So I took this picture and I thought it came out kind of cool. I made a couple of giant sandwiches on French bread loaves for me and my kids for dinner. The kids didn't want any vegetables, but it is dinner time. I cut my chunk into a bit more manageable size. It's garlic herb spread, American cheese, ham, massive amount of bread, and then I've got some vegetables and just threw a bunch of ranch dressing in there because I could. Then I'm working on a diet green tea, and I'm gonna watch Stargate because somebody put the Croods on in the living room, and I could go the rest of my life without watching that movie ever again. I could also go without ever hearing anything coming out of Thomas the Tank Engine. You can guess why. Yeah, Stargate. I think I'm going to be on Atlantis first. I fell asleep. I ate way too much. I actually went and got some more of the big sandwich I made. And then I had food coma just kick in. I did get a couple episodes of Stargate and Stargate Atlantis knocked out. I have not been productive today. At least I don't feel like I have been. But whatever. I don't have a whole lot going on tomorrow. John's got to return his Chromebook. And then Thursday, I think somebody has a field trip that I have to remember to get some cash for them. One of the dudes. I just need to keep after it, stay sane, and try to make a Goodwill run at some point this week. Get a whole bunch of outgrown clothes and books and toys donated. Preferably before summer starts. Week and a half to go. I think we can manage that. I did the thing again where I corner myself to try and make myself edit instead of been sitting here playing mobile games. But the line is growing, and pretty soon we'll be collecting our children, so I got like half an hour. I should be able to knock out and finish up one video in half an hour. And then I can be on my merry way. This morning I was pretty productive. I went to the gym. I took it very easy. Then I ran into another town to hit a better HEB in that area for some quinoa and other things. And in that area is also a pharmacy that I need to hit because they didn't have the one thing in my town. And I prepared some squash for roasting later to try to get my kids to eat some quinoa and some squash, broaden their horizons a little bit. At this point, they'll cram pretty much anything in their face, so I feel like it's a good time to go, you know what? Maybe you wouldn't be eating this when you were 5, but I don't think you're going to care now, so here you go. Picky eaters. And of course, I'll pair this quinoa and squash and stuff with giant chicken nuggets, so there should be no complaints. I mean, who's going to turn down chicken nuggets? Okay, I cooked. I did not get that video finished, but I got really close. It's dinner time. Don't let the logo fool you. I know this was originally for beer. Probably came from, yeah, I remember when we got this at a beer garden. This is actually just ice water from the RO filter on the kitchen sink. And strawberry, watermelon, zero sugar flavoring. That's, it's pretty good. Keeps me sane. This weather, I need to be drinking a lot of extra water anyway. I cooked, and y'all are gonna find this a hoot, but here we go. I never make quinoa, but I made the quinoa. I stirred in some of my homemade pesto, a little bit of extra butter, and a little bit of extra Parmesan Romano blend. And then for my kids, I added more Parmesan on top. And then I roasted yellow squash. I used a little bit of avocado oil to make it stick. Sliced them up. Well, washed them, if I'm being accurate and going from like first step. Washed them, sliced them up, put them in a bowl with paper towels in the fridge. Layered paper towels to kind of draw out some moisture, a little bit of salt for a few hours. Took the paper towels out, coated them with a little bit of avocado oil, and then a little bit of Dave's Rib Rub, famous Dave's Rib Rub, because I've been putting on potatoes lately, and that's been good. And then this is H-E-B brand Texas shaped, Texas sized chicken nuggets. These are enormous. Why are they Texas shaped? I don't know. That's what they went with. Anyway, I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna watch Stargate. I'm gonna relax. Tomorrow, let's see, tomorrow's Thursday. Isn't it? Yeah, must be. Bruce has got himself a little field trip. Good for him. It's art related. That's cool. And I don't know what the middle schoolers are going to be doing because they've already turned in their Chromebooks. I don't know when the high schoolers are going to do the same thing. But we've only got like a week and a couple of days left, so summertime. Alright, I just finished up the both seasons. The two-parter for Mobius for SG1, and then the three-parter that ended the first season of Stargate Atlantis. And technically the third part of The Siege was the beginning of the third season, but anyway, I'm rattled. That was a good watch. I feel like maybe they went a little out of it with the whole alternate timeline SG1 stuff. Just a little too much. They made their point, but then they kept making their point and then trying to make their point 5 more times. I guess just to get as much difference in there as possible, so we could be all relieved when they put it back. Hopefully that's as low spoiler as possible. I hate spoilers. Anyway, I should have finished editing that video. I was busy. These 2 TV shows were super important. I'll work on that tomorrow. I've had a really boring day. And obviously you're not going to see it because you're not pointing this direction, but I have gotten a whole bunch of donations sorted out for when I pop around to the charity shops. When I go pull through the drive-thru at the Goodwill and unload a bunch of clothes that don't fit anymore, outgrown books and toys, that sort of thing. And so the back of the car is loaded up and my kids have like a last chance to go, wait a minute, that wasn't supposed to go. And I have more space in here. Awesome. But it is dinner time. I got a video uploaded too. It's set to go at 6 a.m. my time. That'd be noon, I believe, Greenwich Mean. It's dinner time. This is a Coke Zero, or at least most of one. I have the rest of it right here. And this, I had intended this amount for John because John was already tired and didn't want to stay awake. He needs a nap. Had it not been intended for John, the potatoes underneath the chili would have gotten some extra seasoning. But then he whined and didn't want to eat, and Bruce doesn't like potatoes and also didn't want to eat. They whine and fuss, and it's like, Mom, can you make some stuff? But then when Mom makes some stuff, it's available and ready to go, it's never, no, don't want it. Anyway, canned chili on top of my potatoes, and probably more cheese than what I actually need. In a smaller amount, because I expected he was going to want to scarf some food and then pass out, but no, I'm going to eat this, and I'm probably going to go get seconds. More potato, spices on the potato, less chili, less cheese. I've been watching Ghost Whisperer on Hulu. It's the one with what's her face? Jennifer Love Hewitt. She talks to dead people, helps them pass on or whatever. It's cheesy, it's whatever, but I'm not in the mood for anything that actually makes me think. So that's okay. And that sounds derogatory, but I think everybody needs certain levels of entertainment. And sometimes you want the really, really complicated, the really intense stuff, right? And then sometimes you just want the bare minimum, basic stuff. Nice and bland white bread. I don't want anything fancy, like white bread versus tiramisu. I need the bland stuff because my brain feels overwhelmed. It's really hot outside, and I was out in the sun for long enough to pick up my children. So even though it was after 5 p.m., I filled up a 2-gallon jug, threw some sun tea bags into it, and told John to go set it on the grill. Because there will still be sun on there for at least a couple of hours. Actually, since the metal on the shelf of the grill is black and absorbs heat, it could actually overheat the tea. Oops. Anyway, yes, iced tea. Lots of it. I'm gonna need it. Right now, TV. If you look really close, you see little sparkles of light. Fireflies. I'm out for a walk to play a game, but I notice these guys are coming out. Just a little bit here and there. That's always fun. I don't know how well it's going to show up on the camera, but they're definitely different from the little bits of light from the next neighborhood between the leaves. There we go. You can tell because they move. Alright, I'm having an evening, right? An evening that has required John to get most of my Lord of the Rings collectible figures still in box out of the storage box I had them in. It's actually in this hallway by our rooms. They're very covered in dust and things, but he's like, look, this version of Frodo, his sword glows. Oh, looks like the end of Sting has been ripped off. He said there's a Pippin in armor. I don't know that I have a Pippin in armor. It is apparently worth $30 rather than the usual $20. I got the Legolas where the bow actually fires. got the other Legolas where his hair looks almost brown. He was like, Legolas's hair in the books is brown. And it's like, are you sure? I can see why they would change that, given that everybody else in the group except for Gandalf all seem to have brown or levels of brown hair. It would make sense. Okay, Gimli was pretty close to ginger, but there was a really awful thing when the Lord of the Rings movies were new, where somebody wrote this long, drawn-out vlog. It was like 100 reasons why Lord of the Rings is awful or something like that. And one thing they put was that you can't fool me. I know that the human member of the Fellowship of the Ring is definitely played by two different actors because they have completely different characters. So like, there's two of them. Like, did you miss that end scene where it was clearly the one human guy talking to the other human guy who then croaked? Those movies were out before my kids were born, so I don't think I'm on the hook for any spoilers there, okay? I didn't even use character names on that. Anyway, I have a bunch of these figures. And they didn't appreciate and value like I thought they might. Evidently, John's listening to something in there. I need to go tell him to cool it and go sleep. But anyway, he wanted to try to sell something of his on eBay. I was like, no, you can try to list some of those, but you leave your stuff alone. They're just getting dustier and more beat up, so I'm whatever. If they were worth a lot, then my kids would have been set for college. As it stands, they're not, so it doesn't really matter. I had a nice walk earlier though, with like fireflies coming out, little lightning bugs, because it's dang near swampy out here. We get tomorrow and one more week, and John has asked me for a 1-gallon opaque water bottle so he can take more coffee to school. He does take coffee to school. He says that not taking enough coffee is causing him to fall asleep in class. I said, you got 1 week left. You can wait for tax-free weekend in August before school starts up again. I ain't doing it. I didn't get a lot done today, but I did do some editing. 2 days worth of editing, being at the ranch. And I prepared some tofu. Cut it up, tried really hard to press it, seasoned it, stuck it in the fridge. It's on shaved Brussels sprouts. The Brussels sprouts been tossed with black garlic and a blackberry balsamic oil. I think it's an olive oil. I don't know. Smells great. Got some carrots in there. Looks like 4 chunks of tofu, and I already had one while I was cooking. So I used a burger and steak seasoning on it, and then tried to dry it off a bit, coat it in cornstarch, and then tried to make it crispy in some avocado oil. I kept having to add more oil to the pan. I'm good with it. I think it turned out pretty decent. So we'll see how that goes. I made a bunch, so I may be able to do other stuff with it as well. It was certainly a lot cheaper than chicken, but then I did get it on sale. Having a diet green tea with citrus flavor, and I guess I'm gonna jump back into my Stargate rewatch pit. Why not? Then later, I'm gonna go take and drop Bruce off for his dad's weekend. Not sure what I'm gonna be getting up to tomorrow. know what John's doing, but he's still awake. He's messing with something in his room. That's okay. I'm sure he'll tell me all about it tomorrow. I gotta meet an artist and show them space tomorrow, and then we're supposed to go to the video game store. That should be an interesting time, and hopefully we can get some gym time in after that. I don't know. I've been watching YouTube. It started with some Key and Peele, but then it turned into Ancient Aliens because I needed something to laugh at that wasn't intentional. Turned into some documentary on ancient world history. The awe-inspiring cities that ruled the ancient world. I don't know. This one is a lot longer and far more legit than Ancient Aliens, that's for sure. I got stuff to do tomorrow. Well, it's getting late in the day, and it's been a lot actually. I managed to take John out to the game store because he wanted to sell a few of his game-related items. After that, we went to the gym. We stopped and dropped off some things at Goodwill. I'm a little bit tired. And I had a really productive stop at the church and showed a new artist person all the empty wall space that we have, and thank goodness they are happy to take over July for me. Well, I shouldn't say take over. This is still gonna be a lot of work. We weren't at the gym for very long. That was kind of a trade-off thing. It's like, yeah, I'll take you to the thing, but then, you know, we go burn off some of the sugar we had yesterday. What else did we do? I did not get a shot of my dinner, but I roasted some hot dogs under the broiler with some onions. John was not interested, but I thought it tasted pretty good. The onions didn't cook as thoroughly as I had wanted, so they were like half raw, half cooked. You know, it turned out okay. It just kind of mellowed them out, so that I found that to be nice. I had mine with some ketchup, mustard, some dill pickles, and some chips, and then I watched a whole bunch of Stargate, and I'm really tired, and I got stuck on this YouTube rabbit hole thing, and I should know better. But you know what, I'm gonna try to turn in early because today has been kind of a lot. So I'm running out of space on my phone anyway, just because of all the, you know, all the fun editing stuff. So I'm gonna call it a night. Thanks for sharing my week with me.